Hi, this is Kurt, and I know it's springtime and you're looking to get your sprinklers fired up. Hopefully the wind isn't too bad today. I'm just trying to do this to show you how do you turn on your sprinklers and what are kind of the first things you would look for. Now, in the setting that I'm going to do first, this one is going to be for a secondary water application. Secondary just means dirty water, they use it gray water, whatever you want to use to refer to it. As sprinkler systems are kind of set up, the city is going to come through and put in lines in the road. For each property, they're going to stub that off and give you your connection. So I'm going to show you the connections, how to turn those on, and then in a secondary water system, the next thing I look at is the filter. We're going to show you how to clean that and go from there. So in my case, what I'm looking at here is these are the first couple of boxes that come into my yard. This first box, now I brought a screwdriver to kind of help me open up the box. That'll pry up that lid. When I'm looking at what the city does, we're looking at two different stop and waste. This is kind of how the city has set it up, and they've got them metered on both sides. This one is for my property and this one is for my neighbors. How you're going to turn those on is by a key that looks similar to this. And we'll welcome my neighbor as he shows up. This key is what's going to attach to the top of and we call these a stop and waste. Okay, your stop and waste needs to be, well, so yeah, in my case, this one is closed. If I want to open it, I'm going to do a quarter turn to the left, lefty-loosey, right? That will open up my system. These only have kind of that 90-degree turn, and so that's all you need to do. That's right back off, right? So if you look at mine is off. My neighbor has his on. Sometimes you can tell that they're on just by that notch kind of in line with your pipes. Another stop and waste look is one that looks like this. Now, obviously this is going to be in somebody's ground, right? So if it's 6 feet down, this is going to be down at the bottom, same notch on top. They put threads on the side of it so that you can have a protective tube that goes up, but you'll find these stop and waste up to 6 feet down. They can be as shallow as mine is, where it's just a foot underground, and that's basically it for the stop and waste. Please locate your stop and waste, turn that on, and I do recommend that you turn it on slowly. Let that line slowly fill up and pressurize. Remember, it's water, and if you just throw it open, you're just sending all that water downhill, and it's just going to slam into your pipes and corners and all that stuff. We don't want to do that. Now that we look at the filter, so my line comes in, the main line. They also have given me another ball valve on the side of it so that I can turn on and off my water without having to turn it off at the stop and waste. If I want it open, let me make sure I turn that the right direction. That will be in line with the pipe. That means it is open. This little ball valve, if I have it like this, that means closed, okay? Filters are gonna look like this. This one is a product of Amiad. It's a 1-inch filter. You may have a different brand, you may have a different size. It's okay, they're mostly, kind of the same technology, just different styles. This one in particular, you can twist off the top. Okay. And then this is the filter screen or filter element that they have given me for my sprinkler system. How this one basically works is water flows up through the element and then comes out the sides and then continues through the rest of the pipes. And so everything that is dirty is going to be caught in this mesh screen. What I recommend doing before you turn on your system is that you come and clean out your filters so that you have optimal pressure and that everything is flowing correctly. And how I clean my screen is it's kind of funny, I use a grout brush, but I'll take a little brush and I'll kind of scrape it on the inside as I have running water on it. You can go over to your spigots on your house or inside at the sink. Obviously, you're not going to be able to use the water here if you have it turned off, but you just take a brush. Sometimes I'll even take a hose. You can spray the outside of it. That should get a lot of that debris off of there and be cleaned fairly quickly. To reassemble, make sure your gaskets are okay, that they're not damaged. So we're going to kind of eyeball this one, make sure we're good and clean. we're good. I did kind of clean this in the fall, and so there's not too much debris. I'm not worried as it is. So we're going to reattach that just by placing it back in. It does fit kind of firmly inside the base. I'm going to screw the top back on. You do not need pliers or anything to tighten this. You'll basically over tighten it and you can break that pretty easily. Just a real quick thing on the end of your filters, if they do have something similar like this, it's just another small ball valve. It allows me to let water escape. If it's pressured up, I can close this off so I don't have water flowing in, but your line is pressurized, and you can open up this to kind of release some of that pressure so that you can attend to your filter. I leave that closed, and now I am ready to start up my sprinklers. Okay, so back on the culinary side of things, if you have a culinary irrigation system, you're still going to have the same principles up front. You're still going to need a key to turn on that stop and waste. That'll give you water. But because it's a culinary application, you are, instead of having a filter, you're going to have a backflow. And by the way, yeah, same thing. This is your stop and waste if you have that out front. This is usually what you're going to find in your home if you have a culinary application. So this is a backflow. This is just a 1 inch. This is usually what you'll find in homes, newer homes, I should say. Now, they stub these up in new homes. You know, they'll sit out, 12 inches above the ground. So you should see something like this out there. Older homes and older systems, they used to put these in boxes in the ground. So if yours is still in the ground, you're okay. What you need to do is just make sure that these handles on top, these are just kind of the same thing. These are ball valves. If they're sitting like this, it's closed. You need to make sure, that these handles are in line with the pipes, and then that way you know you're good. These little 4 things on the side are for testing the backflow's purpose. Please don't mess with them or do anything with them. They need to be just as they are. These they do have little screw slots. If when you winterized it for winter, opened these up to kind of help drain the water out, they need to be back in kind of a perpendicular to be closed. If they're vertical and in line, they're going to be on and squirt water everywhere. Also, you need to go around and make sure that as you are coming out of winter, that you check the brass on these. Check even the plastic vessel in the middle. Make sure that it is not broken. Okay, so as I've shown you how to turn it on for a secondary water and also for the culinary purpose, I know that there's more information that can be posted. I'm going to do more videos on how to troubleshoot issues. Valves, brakes, heads, lines, just all those. Just keep looking for my next videos. Thank you again.